Let me go to Terrance, a first-time caller out of Delaware. Terrance, welcome to the show. Get it off your chest.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jesse. How you doing today?
All is well, sir. Thank you for calling.
Hey, I love how you how you do care about the black folks, but you seem to forget, or I don't know how you seem to forget that the disadvantages that we had coming up.
Like what?
What the 1900s?
Tell me for Terrance, what type of disadvantages you had while growing up?
See, now you said I had. So I'm 31. So there was no type of really disadvantage for me. It was just that I was probably a hardhead. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I didn't listen to my mother, because I don't know how you always putting stuff on the mother when you say it's God, Christ, Father, Mother, then child. So you say God directs Jesus, Jesus directs the man, man directs the woman, woman directs the child. So why are you always blaming the child? I mean the parent for the child. I mean the mother for the child. Like how can you do that?
Was your father around?
Oh no, I had a stepfather though.
So if your father was not around,
that means my mother was strong.
What do you mean?
Strong woman.
Strong in what way?
To raise 4 children or 2 children at the time.
But there's no such thing as a woman, no such thing as a strong woman. It's just weak men. If she was strong, if she was strong, why would she bring another man in your life?
Because you said the weak man ran away, I guess. What do you mean?
But if your mother was a strong woman, why would she need to have another man in your life?
She was raising a young boy coming up.
But if she was strong, why would she need another man?
That was her desire, I guess.
No, but if she was strong, why would she have that desire?
To love, I guess.
You're not sure?
No, to love, the desire to love. She found love somewhere else.
Your mother was a strong woman who needed love?
No, she found love. I ain't gonna say need. Everyone needs love, Jesse.
Why do everyone need love?
That's what makes the world go around.
But why isn't it working?
You said it ain't working?
Why isn't it working if everybody needs that love to make the world go around? Why is it so destructive?
I guess everybody ain't getting love.
But if your mother got love from this man?
No, is in search of love, of a companion, Jesse. You know what I'm saying?
Did she get it from your stepfather?
At a point in time, she had to. If they was together for over 20 years.
Did she get it from your stepfather?
They were together for over 20 years.
But so did she get love from him?
They were together for over 20 years. They found a common interest in each other, I guess.
But did she get love from him is my question.
I would hope they was in love, Jesse.
But there's no evidence that they were?
I mean, how you putting it, or like, could you, you're dragging the question on, so, like, I guess not, because they're no longer together, so you're right.
And so what does that say to you, that your father didn't stay there, he didn't stay there, no man seemed to stay with her? What does that say to you about your mother? Hello?
I'm here. I'm thinking that's like a good question. Like, really?
Yeah. And all I want is for people to think. That's when you start to overcome.
Yeah, that's right. But my issue is not with my mom though. My issue is how come you act like we didn't have a disadvantage against us?
But you had a disadvantage, but it wasn't for the white people. It was from your mother and your father. Your mother turned you away from your father. Your father wasn't there to be a perfect example. And that's where the black people disadvantage come from. It has nothing to do with slavery or with reparations or with Jim Crow at all.
But it does, because we didn't have an equal start. Our people was placed in projects.
What's an equal start? Who plays the blacks in the projects?
Government.
But why did the blacks allow the government to place them in projects?
Because they stole our land.
How
They
come
came
when
over-
I was growing up under the Jim Crow, after slavery, under the Jim Crow law, there were no projects. We had family, we made money, we did well, and then after
so you
the
ready?
civil rights movement changed, that's when black people, not all but most or many, went to
Not
the
all, but
project.
most.
But why didn't we see the projects during my days?
No, because you don't understand. Because at that time, the Black Panther was forming a union.
No,
was helping.
during my days that I was growing up, why were there no projects?
What do you mean? Because we were thriving. We was running the world. We had everything. We was already working.
So during my days, black people were thriving, right?
Yes.
We were working and doing all the good stuff, right?
Yes.
And so what changed that?
The government came in. You already know what happened in Oklahoma, in
What?
North Carolina.
But
That's
why did
destruction.
most
That's-
black people end up, as victims, pretending to be victims after black people, after slavery, black people were thriving under Jim Crow.
No slavery. There's no such thing as slavery. How about that?
Well, it did happen, but it wasn't what they pretended that it was.
Yes, it wasn't what they said. So
Right.
now the slavery was all about the work industry. People, blacks was getting paid.
But because of time, what happened to the blacks? They were thriving, and most black people gave up the man, they gave up everything, and gave their lives to the black leaders. Why did they do that?
Listen, you read about that. It came in in 1980s, 88.
But why
when
did the blacks give their lives to the other blacks?
They didn't. I ain't gonna say they gave them up.
They let
after
someone
the-
else start
the
thinking
drugs.
for them.
The drugs. Yes, that's true. Malcolm X came in. Malcolm X was helping us get back right. He was letting us know about the government. It was about the government. It wasn't the crime the black people doing. It was the government. He was letting them know.
You're
about
right
the government.
in that they did rely on the government, but how do you go from thriving to turning your life over to so-called black civil rights leaders, turning your life over to the government, to the men leaving their home families and letting the black woman take over, and now they can't even get it back from the woman? How did that happen?
The segregation. Because
We were segregated when I was growing up. When blacks were thriving, we were segregated.
That's what I'm saying. But when they brought us into segregation together, when they found out, they was finding out where the money was at.
Who was that?
That's
When
what-
you say they, who are you referring to?
The government was trying to figure out where all the money was at.
No,
was
that
noticing
wasn't
that-
from the government. That was from the black leaders.
Oh no, but black leaders, they're taking. Who you think they're not just moving on their own? Who there's somebody telling them what to do?
Their ego.
No, ain't no ego. There's somebody in power over them. You know what I'm talking about. CIA,
So-
FBI, come down.
So you
and holler
think
at you.
you're thinking that the FBI is telling people like the Wicked Witch of the West, Maxine Waters, the NAACP, Jesse Jackson, Louis Farrakhan, Al Sharpton, and all those people, y'all need to control the blacks.
No, it was. Listen, it was CIA, FBI. They became reporters, producers, and that type of stuff. Like the person that you work for, his first job, or the person that he knows.
Who did I
was
work for?
CIA agent.
Well, you said the person I work for. Who you referring to?
Nate, the person that's younger than you.
Who?
Nate, the person that's younger than you.
Who is Nate?
Nick, sorry.
I don't work for Nick.
You say you're a producer.
Right.
That you work for him.
No, he's my producer.
You work for him.
How I work for Nick?
He's the producer.
So Nick pay my paycheck?
He signed it? Yeah, somebody signed it. Yeah.
I sign it.
All right, you the man. I'm sorry, Jesse. You the man.
Nick work for me. I don't work for Nick. He might think so at times.
Hey, but Jesse,
Yeah.
I just don't know how you misconstrued the disadvantages that we had. That's all. Like, you know that they weren't giving us
I
no
recognize the disadvantage. I recognize that whenever.
Okay. Your mom, you said you grew up poor. Your mom couldn't go get that bank loan. Your pops couldn't go get that bank loan.
They didn't try to.
What you mean they didn't try to? They
would-
couldn't get it anyway.
When I
That's
say
what
I
I'm
was,
talking about.
what's your name? Terrance,
Terrance,
when I
yeah.
say that I was poor, I didn't even know I was poor. I'm only saying that because that's what the blacks are claiming. That's what the blacks are claiming now. But I was never hungry. I always had a roof on my head. I always had
the same thing all week long, though.
What?
You ate the same thing all week long, right?
No, I didn't. No, that's not true.
You grew up on the farm. You grew your own food.
Right, but I ain't eat the same thing.
Did you hear what I said? I said you grew up on the farm. You grew your own food. How did that get taken away from your family?
We moved to Alabama. I mean, they moved to Indiana. I moved to California.
But I'm just saying though, you grew up on your own farm, right?
No, we didn't own it.
All right. Before, I guarantee you asked your parents. I guarantee you, it was their land first.
No, they never owned it. They never owned that.
Whose land was it, Jesse?
The white man.
Okay, when you think they took that from you?
We never owned it. They never took it because we never owned it.
Hey, yo, our people were sharecrop holders. You don't recall that?
Right, but we didn't own the land.
How? So where did it come from, Jesse? So they just
the white man owned it, and they let us live there, and we worked for them.
That's a lie. Now, how could a white man own it when he came? How can a white man own something when he came from Europe? So how did he own the land?
He bought it from the other white folks when they got here.
From the other white folks when they got here. When them other white folks, where them other white folks come from? How they get the land?
I don't know. They buy it and they buy it and they buy it.
No, I'm gonna tell you. You know how they raised it? They kept raising the taxes on our people, and then that's how they took.
No, that's not true. When I was growing up, we didn't pay taxes.
It wasn't necessarily called.
Did you know when I was growing up, we didn't pay taxes?
It wasn't necessarily
weird, huh?
called taxes. It wasn't called taxes. That's you know that. You know these are new words that they brought in.
What was it called?
Man, you had to pay taxes every week, man.
No, I didn't. Nick, Terrance, where are you getting this information from?
YouTube.
Don't believe that, man.
No, I ain't believe Google. I can believe YouTube, not Google.
No, don't believe either one. It's okay to read it, I guess, but don't believe it until you see it.
I found you on YouTube, so you don't want me to believe you either, then.
No, don't believe me either.
Preach. I just got to go look for myself.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I enjoyed talking to you, man. I'll be watching your show for like 2 months now. I just don't like how you say that. I mean, what you be saying is right. It really is right. True.
Yeah.
Not even right. It's true.
Yeah.
But I just don't know how you don't see the disadvantages that's been put against us.
But I do see the disadvantage, and it comes from the parents, not from the white people.
It comes from the government, man. How can you say from the parents?
What?
So did your parents told you to go shoot somebody?
To go shoot someone?
Yeah. Did your parents tell you that?
No.
What parent tells their kid something wrong? It goes off of your choice of what you decide to do.
Because you don't make the decision. The kids have hatred in their hearts, right? And when you have anger in your heart, Satan can deceive you and make you do things that you wouldn't ordinarily do.
So what parent would tell their child to do something wrong? That's what I'm telling you. How could you solely blame on the mother?
Because the anger in the mother is the same anger that passed on to the children. And just as the mother is, the children become like the mother.
I mean, like I said, you be saying some true things, man. I mean, that's so true. But just that, I mean, my only problem is I know you care about the youth and all that, but I just need you to speak on or just talk about more of the disadvantages that we had to why we in this situation.
But I do talk about it. That's why I'm trying to I'm pointing people right back so we can rebuild the family. And I'm telling you, Terrance, once the father and mothers are right, they get married, do it the right way, everything's going to change for the good. What did getting married have to do with? You know, some women don't even want to get married. Well, don't you ever have a baby with that woman because she'll kill your child in the womb.
I'm already with a woman that don't want to get married.
You with a woman that don't want to get married?
That don't want to get married. She said she's learning from her mom's mistake.
Do you want to get married?
I'm okay with how she feel about that. I mean, I ain't got to worry about the long run.
But do you want to be married and have kids, have a family?
I have a son. We have a family. We've been together since we was like 15. I'm 31 now. We've been dealing with each other forever.
And why
cool.
and you stand with a woman that don't want to be married?
She don't agree with it.
But why are you staying with her if you would like to be married?
I didn't say I would like to be married. I'm cool.
Would you like to be married?
Only because you've been taught that that's the right way. You heard what I said? You've been taught.
As a 31-year-old man, you don't believe marriage is the right way?
Like I said, only because that's what people's been taught. You know what I'm saying? You got to know. That's what everything.
So you don't know for yourself that marriage is the right way?
Only because that's what we've been taught.
No, I'm asking you, as a 31-year-old man, you still don't know for yourself if marriage is the right way or not?
You got to listen. I'm doing me and my woman. We're fine.
Do you? So, no, I'm asking you, as a 31-year-old man, you don't know for yourself if marriage is the right way.
I'm cool. But that's what I'm telling you. People rely on what they've been taught.
I know, but I know that you're right about that. They are relying on what they've been taught, not knowing for themselves. So at 31, I know you were taught that marriage was the right way. At 31, do you know if marriage is the right way or not?
I'm cool. No,
no, I know you're cool, but do you know if marriage is the right way or not?
It's not the right way. Because me and my lady, we still feel the same way about each other. For over, 15 years we've been together. We didn't get married as soon as we saw each other in middle school, high school, and we've been kicking it since. And no.
How about your son? You want him to just live with a woman too?
I want a woman to choose him. Like I want a woman to choose him.
Do you want your son to just live with a woman?
She's going to be living with him.
Do you want your son to live with a woman, not married?
He's going to have his own choice, sir.
Do you want that for him?
What he's being taught. I want him to go off what he's been taught.
Do you want that for him?
It really wouldn't matter.
Do you want that for him?
Not to be married?
Right.
I don't think it's a big deal.
Do you want that for him?